So there's not a lot to this story, but I thought it was worth discussing, and I didn't know if we'd have Nick. But basically, Logan director James Mangold has come out and said that his Star Wars movie, quote, won't be handcuffed by so much immovable law. Which it doesn't sound good when it comes from Kathleen Kennedy and Star Wars and stuff. You know, that sounds like it's not going to be handcuffed by so much, law, so we can just, screw shit up as much as we want, basically. That's just all it signifies to me. So basically, he's been doing the rounds to promote this Bob Dylan biopic, and he spoke to MovieWeb, and he says, to me, the really important aspects are the freedom to make something new. Beau Willimon and I, in relation to Star Wars, have been working on a script, and we'll see what happens. Do we find a way on the page to say something original? The Star Wars movie would be taking place 25,000 years before any known Star Wars movies take place. It's an area and a playground that I've always wanted to explore and that I was inspired by as a teenager. I'm not interested in being handcuffed by so much law at this point that it's almost immovable and you can't please anybody. So there's two things, right? So, yeah, he talks about this, but just as an FYI, he's like, yeah, we've been working on a script and we'll see what happens. That doesn't even sound like it's 100%, by the way, just as an FYI, which we know full well when it comes to Disney and Star Wars, that those movies just die a death really, really quick. So that was interesting to note. We'll see what happens. Oh, okay. So is this movie happening or not? We'll see what happens. Interesting. Just side note, adjacent side note. And then, yeah, talking about this, like handcuffed by so much law, and you can't please anybody. That sounds like he's still hung up over from Indiana Jones. Which, yeah, well, you done screwed up there, mate. And there is law, isn't there? And I'm pretty certain there is law to like the origins of Jedis and stuff.
There is. Yeah. I mean, in the books, if you go back and reread some of them, it even touches on that old ancient lore. So the reason they're starting out so far back is that there's maybe only a handful of people that can really regurgitate what actually happened in the past. Right, Marvin?
Yes, it's there's so much lore about how the Jedi were formed, and that's both in actual lore that happened before the Disney purchase, and Disney, I believe, has even discussed how it's happened in their lore. What this is it's a concentrated attempt to go back and finish the job that the Acolytes started, to fundamentally change the Force, the Jedi, and the Star Wars galaxy, to fully move it away from George Lucas's original version. And you know what, James Mangold, you're doing an incredible job, buddy, because if there's one way that you can endear yourself to the infinitesimal amount of Star Wars fans that still exist, it's to be like, oh, all that pesky George Lucas lore that nobody cares about. You're doing just a fantastic job of it. And also, how is this guy getting a Star Wars movie after he tanked Indiana Jones, losing like what, $300 million for the studio? And then the same studio is like, yeah, you know what? We're going to give you not just a Star Wars movie, but an important Star Wars movie. I will be shocked if this gets made.
Yeah,
doesn't sound like it's confirmed.
I can't imagine this being made. And look, you chose the guy that now fans hate. I mean, I know a lot of people give it up for Logan and have enjoyed that and think it's just
Logan
great.
Sucked too.
I'm not a big fan of Logan because it was one of the first films at deconstructing the superhero and destroying their legacy. I did not appreciate the old man Logan. I understood what it was for at the time. I thought it was a fine film. I'm never going to sing this dude's praises. Yes, he's done one other project that's interesting and good before you get there. But for the most part, he's scum. He's a lying piece of garbage.
He's actually a really good director, to be honest. But,
lying piece of garbage.
But the way he attacked the fans when they were saying all the leaks about Indiana Jones, I mean, and he was lying.
Yeah, no, I don't deny any of that. But he has actually made quite a lot of good films.
He attacked my friend Matt Kadish.
Okay, but he has made some good films.
Yes, people who are good at their jobs can also be jerks. It is a
and they can also
It is a phenomenon where
Hey,
It
I
can
tell
be
you
good.
what, the guy that works on the end of the conveyor belt that makes it so my arm doesn't get chopped off. If he's only about half the time good at that job, I'm not sure I want to work on that conveyor belt on that assembly line anymore. You know what I mean?
He made great movies before social media. Let's put it that way, right? Before social media was as big a thing, and before movie commentary was as bigger thing on social media. But he is a good director. It is important to point out. Yeah, from a technical perspective, like he is actually a very, very good director. Doesn't mean he's not made shit recently, because he absolutely has. He's made a lot of
Thank
slop.
you.
Well, no one's, mate. I'm not defending Indiana Jones. Jesus, don't even insult me by insinuating I'm defending that
You
lump
like
of dog shit.
that KK stand-in, the little brunette in that, right? Because she comes from your country. She, the one that's supposed to be
No,
funny and
you
sarcastic.
joking me?
Yeah,
No,
yeah, that's one of your little fantasy gals, isn't it?
no, it's really not. She's got a massive mole on her face. I'm molest.
Hey, look, it's a religious mole. It's holy moly.
I don't give a shit. No,
Oh,
she's gross. She does it. She looks like she'd have a smelly vagina, so she's not my cup of tea. She
Talk
does.
about
Look at
milk
her. You'd be
duds.
like, yeah, you probably smell a bit. To be fair,
So you're saying that if a smelly vagina had a look, it would be the Waller Bridge
it,
chick.
it would be
Phoebe
Phoebe
Waller-Bridge.
Waller-Bridge. Yeah.
Hey,
Wow.
she's always looked
Yeah,
like
mate,
a
we've all been there, right? We've all been there,
This-
gone down, and gone. Oof.
What?
Fucking hell.
No, no.
Well,
I've always said that she looks like
I have. And
if
it
a
was
stork
rough.
made a wish on a magic lamp to be a human, but didn't specify that it wanted to be proportionate to a human.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that.
Oh, Olaf says VD Waller Bridge.
VB Waller-Bridge. Yeah.
Oh, I read that.
But
as
anyway,
a D.
point is,
Anyway, sorry.
the point is, back to the story a little bit because we're going off topic. The whole handcuff to the law thing. This is just signaling, hey, we're just going to do what we want again, basically, isn't it?
Yeah,
Time.
basically telling it without saying it outright, F off Star Wars fans.
Yep. We're chasing the modern audience because that's worked. So it is Lucasfilm, like at least even Disney as a whole is now kind of being like, okay, well, maybe we can try some non-woke stuff. Like maybe we can do Inside Out 2 or Moana 2 or, Deadpool and Wolverine. And then they make $1 billion. You've got this Lucasfilm who is just like, nope, second verse, same as the first. And they just keep charging ahead with the same failure over and over and over again.
Yeah.
It's the SpongeBob meme. It's the how many times are you going to make me teach you this lesson, old man?
Yeah. KK is never going to learn. Stupid bloody plum that she is. She's never, ever, ever going to learn. Never going to learn. Terrible individual. And actually, that's what Olaf's monthly super chat's about. Says, think KK can't find any writers, directors who want to be burned on Star Wars or fired, as it's a tainted IP now. Most actors also avoid it like the plague. That is true. That is true. Do you think that they are struggling? I think that they are. I think they're struggling to find people.
I think they're struggling to find a replacement for KK.
Imagine going back in time to like the early 2000s and be like, one day someone's going to be like, hey, who wants to do this Star Wars movie? And every director in Hollywood is going to throw up their hands and be like, nope, not touching that.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't think anybody wants to run the studio. I mean, if we end up with Wolfman douchebag, what's his name? Filoni?
Baloney,
yeah. If we end up with him running Star Wars, it won't be better. Everything will star Ahsoka.
Yeah. It's going to be anyway.
All Ahsoka all the time.
It's going to be grumpy, arms folded, bitch face woman.
Alzheimer's article fit right in with you guys are on fire in the
chat. KK does have Alzheimer's, I swear. Well, anyway, there you go. This is going to be more nonsense. Just a quick story. hold fire for it, guys. We'll be reporting on it as it comes through. But there you go. Let's move on.